Good afternoon YouTube, it's Craig here from Manx Bushcraft, Survival and Wild Skills, and today we're going to talk about fire. Fire is one of the most important elements that we need when we're out camping, bushcrafting, surviving. Many people get stuck if they're not prepared how to light fires, make fires and have ways of making fires. So what we're going to do is we're going to jump into this little pouch that I've got here. At the end of the video I'd like to know any of your comments, things that you'd either add or take away. Let's have a look inside. It's got a little pouch. I got this from a 50p stall. Someone was just getting rid of the bag and I thought it was very good. So this is what I put my fire kit in. So first element that I have in here is fire steel. As you can see, it's quite chunky, quite big. Got quite a few ferrocerium rods, use them quite a lot. Always good to have more than one way of starting a fire. Next thing I have is a dowing bar wrapped around some paracord. Now don't go for the cheap dowing bars or the cheap magnesium bars that look very shiny and very rough to touch. They're not proper magnesium, and when you try lighting them you're going to get nowhere fast. Always go for the darker colour ones. This one is made by the American Army for their Air Force pilots. I got this from the Bushcraft store, as with some of the things that are in this pouch. I'm going to give them a plug because they're very good. Andy and his team really look after me when I get in touch with them. And what I'll do is I'll do a video on a magnesium fire block. It's a bit rainy here on the Isle of Man today, but if you just give me some time I'll sort it out for you. It's also got a ferrocerium rod on the side, and also the importance of paracord. The outer casing of paracord burns quite well, so you can light a fire with that. I'll put them there. The next thing I have is a watertight container. Inside the watertight container I have some matches, which are lifeboat matches, NATO approved, and also a small little lighter with fluid in it. I try and use this as a last resort to light my fires. I've taken the O-ring off it because I like to keep it in this waterproof case. It's nice and bright, so if I ever drop it I can find it again. The next thing I have in this little pouch is a little medicine container. I won't open it up, but inside there is a load of cotton buds soaked in Vaseline. Everyone knows that alcohol takes a spark, and if you don't, well you will now. There's about 5 or 6 cotton wool buds in there, but there's loads of petroleum jelly on them. Lasts for about 3 minutes, 4 minutes when you set fire to them. So I think that's a good thing to have in my kit. So as you can see at the moment I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, the matches, 6 ways so far to light a fire. Some people like to do it the old way, fire by friction. My problem is I'm an above knee amputee, and even though I can do it, physically I can't do it. I can do it technically but not physically. Next thing I have is a pencil sharpener. Pencil sharpener is good for wood shavings. You can get some different sizes in the pencil sharpeners, but I just use this little one. Good for making small amounts of kindling to start your fire. Again, I've talked about this before in the past. Duct tape, very good when you catches a spark or a flame. The other thing you can use this for, as well as plasters and fixing kit and everything else, if you've got a wet patch of ground that you're trying to light a fire, take a strip of this off, put it on the floor, put your shavings on top, put your spark or your match to it, your flame to it in some way. That will also help ignite the fire and make it a lot more powerful for you, get your fire going quickly. So there's about 6 foot there wrapped around an old store card that my wife had. I have a BCB multi-tool card. Work out about £3-4. I use this the knife side of it for the scraping off the magnesium block, and I also use it to strike my ferro rod. So I think that deserves to be in the kit. I also have a rubber band from an inner tube of an old bike tyre. Burns very well. In a bigger kit that I have quite a lot of these cut up. I think it's a good thing to have in the pouch, and also keep some of the stuff together on the tin. Little Altoids tin. I've only put the insulation tape around to waterproof it. The other good thing about this tin, you can make char cloth out of it. I normally carry a load of different cloths with me, or an old t-shirt, an old rag for cleaning my knife and stuff like that. So if you need char cloth, all you need to do is put a little hole in the top, put your char cloth in, put it in a fire, and then just let the fire roast it, and it goes like a black, well, it goes this colour. That catches a spark quite well. So inside this tin, you can see I've got some fire card. This works out at about, I think it's about £6 for about 8 big square sheets. I've just cut some of it up. I think it's very good stuff. I've used it in the past. I have a stove in my lounge, and I've used some of this to light my stove when I've run out of fire lighters. So I have quite a few bits of that in here. I also have some tinder quicks. Split these in two, fluff them up, double the amount of fire igniters you have. A lot of people just, I've seen them burn them just as they are, but it's best to fluff them up. Again, magnifying glass, use the rays of the sun on a nice day, get a nice hot fire going. I have a little candle as well as illumination. Using a candle, just pull the wick, fluff it up, use one of your matches if you need to, start it up. Get it going, light your fire, blow it out and save it. Don't use it to write letters and notes away and things like that. If you've got a torch, use that. I would say this is one of the last resorts you should use. You can get, this is just candle wax, but you can get an animal fat one that you can use for food. The only thing I would say is don't put it in with this sort of gear if you're going to eat it one day, because you'll probably end up giving yourself quite bad gut rot. The next thing I have is wet fires. It says what it is on the packet. A lot of people I've seen just throw these in fires and set them off. Well, the idea of what you do is you open them up, take little bits of shavings off them, put a spark to it, and they light quite quickly. Very good for when your tinder's wet as well, because it's, as it says on there, wet fire. Fire starting tinder for any weather. So as you can see, this is my fire kit. There is, let's count them up now. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 ways of lighting fire in that small kit. What would you put in your kit? Would you put fat wood in? Many people love the fat wood. Some people like the Zippo lighters. What would you put in? Please leave your comments below. Hope you enjoyed this video. Give it a good thumbs up, and I hope to speak to you again soon. This is Craig again, signing off from Manx Bushcraft. Happy trails.